They say behind every successful woman is a trail of ex-husbands, but in Amanda's case, it was more like a whole convoy. This roller coaster of a love life had taken Amanda on more twists and turns than a Hollywood rom-com, and she wouldn't trade it for the world. In the posh neighborhood of Jakarta Selatan, where glittering mansions boasted pristine lawns and posh, snooty neighbors glanced at each other with the intensity of hawks, lived Amanda, a seasoned corporate lawyer, mother and wife. But not just any wife. This was her third marriage. Pre-owned, she liked to think of it. In a nutshell, Amanda was living a reality show that should have been called The Real Housewives of Jakarta, Lawyer Edition. Now, if one thought leaving a corporate job in a different country for romance was a bold move, consider this. Amanda had done it all without the slightest glimpse of her future wife life, including the ubiquitous and dreaded jaunty history of infidelity that came with her then-boyfriend and now husband, Mark. The then Amanda had left behind everything: her corporate office, several high-profile legal battles, and a decent cafeteria with decent coffee, only to find herself entangled in a relationship that would make even a courtroom drama look like a breezy rom-com. Apparently, Mark had missed the subtlety of wedding vows and had a more poetic view of commitment, believing that, for better or worse, simply meant, let us see other people until further notice. But before we dive into the comedy that is Amanda's marriage, let's rewind a bit to her childhood. Amanda grew up in a small house near Taman Mini Jakarta Timur, a neighborhood that was more crowded than a Jakarta traffic jam, but also more fun than a Friday night in a Jakarta nightclub. It was here where she discovered the art of navigating complicated situations with a combination of legal acumen and quick wit. The year was 1979, and young Amanda was taking on the world, one playground dispute at a time. Her weapon of choice: words. With the kind of precision and eloquence that would make any barrister proud, she was the neighborhood's resident legal eagle. It wasn't unusual to hear her arguing a case in the playground, defending a friend accused of stealing cookies, or negotiating a truce in the midst of a rambunctious game of hide-and-seek. And it wasn't just her verbal skills that made her stand out. Amanda possessed a keen intellect and an adventurous spirit that led her into all sorts of escapades. She wasn't content with just playing by the rules. She wanted to bend them, challenge them, and if possible, break them just to see what would happen. Much to the chagrin of her parents, she developed a taste for exploring the world beyond the safety of their small house, often venturing into the bustling streets of Jakarta with nothing but her wits and her unquenchable curiosity. One such adventure led her to a rundown bookstore tucked away on a quiet street. It was here that Amanda discovered her true passion: reading. She would spend hours poring over books, devouring stories, and learning about the world around her. This early love of reading sparked a lifelong habit that would serve her well in her future career as a lawyer. Now fast forward to 1985, the year that changed everything. It was during a chance encounter at a local community center that young Amanda met the love of her life, an enigmatic individual who would become her first husband. Their connection was instant and undeniable, and before long, they were planning a future together that seemed as bright and promising as the Jakarta sun. However, as fate would have it, their blissful union was not destined to last. After 5 years of marriage, they decided to part ways. But Amanda was a fighter, and she refused to let this setback define her. She picked up the pieces and started anew, channeling her energy into her work and eventually finding success as a corporate lawyer. However, the journey of a single woman in Jakarta is never easy. The pressure to conform to societal norms and expectations can be overwhelming. But Amanda pressed on, determined to forge her own path in life. Then in 1995, along came the second chapter of Amanda's romantic journey. She met someone who swept her off her feet, and they soon tied the knot. For a while, everything seemed perfect. But as the years passed, cracks began to show in their seemingly idyllic marriage. Infidelity reared its ugly head and tore their relationship apart. Heartbroken and disillusioned, Amanda found herself once again navigating the treacherous waters of divorce. The thought of giving up on love altogether crossed her mind. But deep down, she knew that wasn't an option. Love might be a gamble, but it was a risk she was willing to take. And so it was that Amanda found herself at a crossroads in life. A successful career, a string of failed relationships, and the daunting task of raising children on her own. The odds were stacked against her, but Amanda was not one to back down from a challenge. With the kind of tenacity that has become her trademark, she took charge of her life and made a decision that would change everything. She packed her bags and moved to another country, leaving behind the familiar surroundings of Jakarta for the bright lights and endless possibilities of a new city. Little did she know that this move would not only shape her future, but also set in motion a series of events that would lead her to the love of her life, Mark. The story takes a hilarious turn when Amanda enters her new life in a different country. She finds herself caught in a whirlwind romance with Mark, a charismatic individual who sweeps her off her feet. But as the honeymoon period ends, Amanda begins to uncover the truth about her new husband's past. To her shock and dismay, she discovers that Mark is a notorious serial cheater, a fact that is made abundantly clear by the numerous women who seem to know him all too well. Despite this revelation, Amanda decides to proceed with the marriage, much to the amusement and disbelief of her closest friends. The story explores the complexities of relationships and the lengths to which some people will go for love. Despite the red flags, Amanda is determined to make the relationship work, even if it means facing the wrath of jealous exes and enduring the snickers of her peers. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Amanda is not the kind of woman to be deterred by mere obstacles. She's a force to be reckoned with, capable of handling any situation with grace and wit. In the end, Amanda's story is a celebration of the human spirit, the power of love, and the importance of following your heart no matter how bumpy the road may be. So buckle up for a wild ride full of laughter, tears, and plenty of relationship drama. This is a story that will keep you guessing until the very end. If you're enjoying this story so far and would like to support us in bringing you more tales of daring adventures and heartwarming romances, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below letting us know what you think. Your support truly means the world to us and helps us continue sharing these stories with you. Thank you for being a part of our community. We've got plenty more adventures in store for you, so stay tuned for more exciting stories coming your way.